What is up, YouTube? Jonny B here again today, and I'm gonna be bringing you episode 3 of the IS300 build. Now, what I needed to do was to get the parts in order to build it back, right? So I called around, called the dealer, called a couple auto parts places, and everything was expensive for this car because it's a Lexus. Anything Lexus, BMW, anything luxury is usually more expensive. Let's say, for instance, a fender. If I can get a fender for this car, they wanted $170 for it. When for any of the newer cars that I get a fender for, it's usually around $60 to $80, or even the hood was $150. And keep in mind that these are Chinese parts, parts that are made aftermarket, that aren't OEM, and they're pretty pricey. So $150 for a hood, usually I get the hood for around $80 to $100, if it's something like that. So I was like, so I'm gonna be paying that much for something that's, a little bit less quality. The metal's a little bit thinner. I was like, I might as well go OEM and save myself some money. So I actually contacted a guy named Mike here in Arizona. Really cool dude. He actually owns a place called JDM, Arizona. He can get you anything you need from Japan. He can directly import it from Japan. It takes a couple of months to get this stuff because of the distance, but if you need something, he can get it. And if not, most of the time he actually has stuff in stock, and I got lucky this time because I needed the front clip. So what they do with a front clip is actually get the front end and just literally chop it off. So look at this. So I need the whole front area, right? So they literally just go like this and just chop this part off. That's what I need. So he actually had it in stock. I mean, it's not a Lexus IS300 front end, it's actually a Toyota Altezza front end. So go ahead and check this out. So not much of a difference, but there are little key things that are missing, or it has extra that the Lexus doesn't or does have. For example, the Lexus has little side markers, little orange reflectors on the side of the bumper. This one does not. If you guys take a look at it over here, it's actually clean. It's like if it was shaven off. That's how they are in Japan. The headlights are a little bit different because instead of being a full orange, they actually just have a little strip. They actually, they say Toyota, made in Japan, obviously, like most of them do. But if you guys look at the back, you can see literally where they chopped it. They even cut off part of the frame in case you need it, in case your car was in an accident and you need the front. It's all there. So radiator, condenser, fans. That was gonna be a pretty good amount of money in there. And then it's got the core support that I need. It's got the bumper reinforcement bar, the bumper, the grill, all kinds of extra stuff. So you guys can see it's it's a little bit faded, it's used, but we're obviously gonna paint it. We're gonna paint it the color of the car, and for the lights and stuff like that, I'm actually gonna polish the fog lights because they're nicer than the ones that I actually have on the stock bumper. And with headlights, I'm actually gonna go with something a little bit different, but I'll show you guys that in a future episode. So also what I bought with this, because obviously I need the fenders and the hood, so I also bought the fenders and the hood. The hood is basically the same. The fenders actually have a little turn signal light right on the side, which most JDM vehicles do. For example, there's the Honda Integra. So now what we're gonna do is actually take this apart, because I'm gonna need to take it apart to get the core support out of this and then put it onto this one. And before I install the parts, I actually want to paint them. So I could probably test fit them first, but today what we're gonna be doing is taking apart this front clip that I got from Japan. So we're gonna take that apart, and then start putting it together. Let's go ahead and do that. So I was looking at the front clip and I was thinking maybe we could just put it on like that because it's already complete and it's missing over there, so why not? That looks like it fits, right? Alright guys, thanks for watching. Alright, looks like it's not gonna work that way, so what I'm actually gonna do is take apart this front clip and just install the internal components like the radiator, condenser, the fans, hoses, etc. So I'm gonna take this apart, probably install the core support first because that needs to actually be welded on. So I'm gonna chop it off of this one, put it on that one, mock it up, and weld it on that one. So let's go ahead and get started. Okay guys, we are done for the night. Just finished taking apart the JDM front clip that you guys saw towards the beginning. So here it is, if you want to take a look at it. We got the bumper, the headlights. This part we actually didn't need. This is the front part of the frame in case your car was damaged. And this is the front reinforcement bar for the bumper. It's actually skinnier for the Japanese version because on the Japanese bumper, there's a place for your license plate. So it kind of dips in, which is kind of cool. I'm gonna have to get a plate, you know, kind of like a vanity plate or maybe a Japanese plate just to put on there to cover that up. But yeah, we have the radiator, condenser, the headlights, the full front bumper, the grille, which can all add up to a quite pricey. So here I already chopped off the core support. If you guys look at the car, I just started putting it on at the moment. This is where it's gonna go welded on. So that way, right now what I'm doing is test fitting. So in case you actually order them, most of the time you don't buy a whole front clip like I just did. You order the parts independently and you don't actually have to cut them off like I did. I had to cut it off of this original front clip to be able to put it on here. So once you have the core support, that's the first thing you want to test fit. So just make sure that your frame, you know, the parts of like the fender right here are actually still straight. And if not, that's when you try to straighten them out. Try to straighten them out a little bit and you try to see if everything fits properly. So right now I just test fitted it and it looks like everything is coming out good. You guys can see it's already bolted down here at the bottom. This whole front part right here, I actually left it bolted on. So I'm just gonna have to come weld it, or I'm gonna also, for most of us that actually don't have a welder, you can always use self-tap screws. Because that part is just spot welded, which is not very strong. All it needs is something to hold it in place. So you could always do, tap it with some screws and they will hold up just as strong. Right now my welder is actually locked up and I don't have the key, so I can't weld it, but we can probably do that in another video. But so far that's where we're at. We still need to get a couple more parts. I did get a big chunk of it all in one go, but I still need, for example, the air filter, the air intake, which is still cracked. That needs to be replaced. And then possibly get this little front cover here that's cracked also. And I was thinking, since we're already here, I might as well replace the timing belt, the water pump, the belt, just something. That way when it does come to the time to sell it, I can, I have proof that I did all the maintenance record on it. Just kind of like fix it up and leave it like new again. That's how we like to run them. And I'm gonna be dailying it for a while, so I want it to be, in tip-top condition, so it won't leave me stranded anywhere. So yeah, that's the progress so far. Keep watching and stay tuned. See you later, YouTube.